Hey guys, no one's quite on yet, but just to give you a fair warning for those who are watching this after the live is if you hear noises in the background, it is my ferret trying to get out of her cage, and my mother is working down in the basement. So, my greatest apologies. Khaleesi, it is not yet time to come out and play. Why are you doing that? Hey guys, how are you guys today? Any chit chats you want to talk about or any questions you like answered? I am here. So if you hear any noises in the background, it is probably my ferret, and I'm sorry about that. She thinks it's time to go out and play, but it's not time to come out and play. So, Khaleesi, she's like trying to find an escape route. What you do? What you do, baby? So how have you guys been? Do you regret the name since the last episode of Game of Thrones? What do you mean regret the name by that? Because I have no idea what that means. I mean, Game of Thrones, I was not happy with Game of Thrones last episode. Well, thank you. I never gotten that. I look like Marilyn Monroe, but thank you very much. Oh, Khaleesi. No, because I still believe that Daenerys deserved to be queen, but that is just me. She's my queen. And, I just pretend that those episodes didn't happen at all. And I'll just fantasize that something else happened in my head. I am doing okay. How are you, White Chocolate, or DJ, whichever you prefer to be called? Well, I didn't like the writing in the last few episodes of Game of Thrones, so I think she was making a point like, I'm just not going to let you, just because you surrender doesn't mean you don't deserve what you deserve, But that's just me. So, I'm not a fan of the last season. I want to write my own fanfic for the last season, but it'll be completely off the grid, like not at all related to Game of Thrones, but that's just me. I do that a lot. But who knows, maybe I'll add it to fanfiction.net. I would get a lot of people like, why are you doing this? This makes no sense. Why are you doing that? Because my fantasies are very different from George R.R. Martin's fantasies. So, yes. What are you guys up to? How has been your month? It's almost the end of the month. Tomorrow's the last day of the month. I gotta work on the last bit of the vlog for this coming month, or last month. Technically, it would be last month by the time it's up. I feel like Warner Probs just gave them an outline of stuff that happens and they wrote it poorly. Probably, I'm hoping that if this is the way he wants it, that he does it the way he has always wrote his books, with really good detail and explaining things, because I hope that the last two books won't be just kind of like how the show was, where it's just quickly written just to get it out there. But he's taking forever, so hopefully that's not the case. I'm afraid that something like that's going to happen, because sometimes when people get to the last bit of their stories, they just kind of like rush it, and a lot of it doesn't make sense. I felt that way with the Hunger Games series. When I read the last one, it was hard for me to understand what was going on, and I felt almost a little bit rushed. But that was just me on the Hunger Games series, and I was just like, oh, felt a little rushed. Like I wanted a little bit more in it. Like there could have been more in it. That's just an example. But I'm always afraid of authors and directors doing that in series. Yes, I do write stories. I write fanfics and I write my own books, but I haven't gotten very far in my books. I have a problem with completing things. Like one of them, the way I wrote it is my friend and I did an RP style, so she would help me write the characters better, because I used to role play a lot online. And we got up to close to the end of that book, but now I have to rewrite it as conjoined. And I'm only like on the first chapter. Because that is how lazy I've gotten when it comes to writing. It's good to see you too. How are you? But I do write fanfics. I seem to go further in my fanfics than I do with my regular writing. I think it's because I have something to base it off of instead of my own imagination. Not that my imagination isn't wildly crazy as it is, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's easier that way. So I write fan fictions on Inuyasha, the anime, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, not the cartoon version. Yes, I do write on AO3. My username is Amateur Aries, but it's a little bit different. Let me write it down. It's in a lot of my YouTube description videos, like in the description of the videos. But yes, let me just get the pen out. This might be loud. Sorry, that's not a pen. So you just wrote down amateur. That's not how you spell amateur. You think I would know by now. That little thingy. Ah, papers everywhere. So that's how you can't read it. Never mind. It's just gonna paper. Yeah, you can't see it. It's amateur, and then it's that line. I don't remember what it's called. Not like the one that's in the middle, but on the lower part of the line paper thing, and then Aries. But if you really want to find it, I have the link in all my descriptions in my YouTube videos. So just click on one of my YouTube videos, and it should be like on the bottom of the description box. It's easier that way because it links right to one of my fanfics. I used to write Peter Pan fanfics, and Harvest Moon fanfics, but those are so old that I would have to rewrite them. And it's cool that you write poetry and songs. I used to write poetry back when I was in my teens, but I kind of stopped because I guess I'm not as emotional as I used to be, and I don't put my emotions in words very well anymore. Yeah. I have a friend, he is schizophrenic and maybe borderline as well, and he has often stopped speaking to me and ignoring me as a trait of the illness. Is this a trait of the illness? Yes. It is a trait. I think of both. Borderline can make you hate someone suddenly out of nowhere with no explanation whatsoever. I had a friend that I was super close to back in elementary school and halfway through middle school, and this one day I just hated her guts. It was like one morning I woke up and I hated her. I don't know why. I didn't bug me. I was like, I just don't want to talk to you anymore. And it stayed a year before it just kind of like washed away. And I felt terrible about it, but I couldn't explain it. Whenever I saw her, I got angry. And I didn't want to do it because after that, we just didn't have the same relationship. I don't think she understood why I did that. I didn't. Luckily, it hasn't happened with me or Zach, because that would suck. But tend to come to that, we just didn't have the same relationship. I don't think she understood why I did that. I didn't understand why I did that at the time. I was 12, maybe, and I didn't understand what was going on with me at the